Welcome to the Sunday, not morning, but afternoon Friends show today. We had to start it a bit later in the day, but we are here. My name is Locke. I'm joined by my long-lost friend Jam.
Hello.
Back from, not from the dead. You had a trip. You did some things.
I had a long trip. I mean, it's not really a trip. It's still ongoing. I had to move.
Yeah.
I moved.
You came
I
across
traveled
the sea.
across the ocean.
You took
Yeah.
you took a big wooden ship across and
I took a big wooden ship, and then there was a trek across the continent as well. It's a long way, but I'm now set up and living in California.
yeah, you were
So I'm
doing
here.
the real life Oregon Trail. So
Yeah.
how did that go?
It went fine, actually. It kind of helps when you have a company doing most of the hard work for you,
This
but
is
there was
true.
still one or two bits and pieces to sort out myself, including a car, which is still somewhere probably approaching right now. I should check actually where the hell that car is, but that's not going to arrive for another month or so.
You didn't have to like
Uh,
trade it for any goods.
Yeah, it's been good. A nice couple of weeks of before. No, I didn't. I mean, in some ways, it's kind of similar to what I've been doing in Assassin's Creed. 'Cause it's like I've got this car which needs to get to this place, so I'm going to send it off, and so at some in this indeterminate point in the future, it will show up somewhere, and then good things will happen.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so there was that, and I've been here for about 2 weeks now, sort of just about getting my bearings of where things are. It's weird when when you're used to living in the UK, there are certain things that you don't really appreciate. You kind of latch on to, and just in terms of how you navigate around. And one of those things is that we don't really use the grid system. So
Like
I kind of
streets?
got this when, yeah, exactly. So like I've noticed this when I've been in American cities before, but now that I'm living here, I thought, oh, it'll go away. But like it's much harder to. I think being from the UK, you use the shape of the road as a landmark. When all the roads are the same shape, it makes it much harder to figure out where you are. Because it's like, oh, I'm driving down this long straight road which has other roads going off it at 90 degrees. This could be anywhere really. So just starting to getting started used to driving on the wrong side of the road
Yeah,
and
geez.
four-way
That's gotta be
stops and that kind of thing.
a difference.
It's not too bad because you're also on the wrong side of the car, so
Oh,
it's
right.
It kind of reminds you about that.
I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Weirdly enough, the car that I'm having shipped over is also a left-hand drive car, so that I was driving left-hand drive on the left-hand side of the road. So you're sort of way over, and it's quite a big car as well. So it's like the central line of the road could be a million miles away for all you know.
Oh, jeez. Well, I'm glad to have you on the show. You are. It's going to be weird.
Exactly.
Oh, what's
Weirdly-
going on? Oh, it's going to be weird that we're in the same time zone almost now. So
Yeah,
that's the thing, which is funny to me. But
yeah.
it's like I don't have to calculate. Oh, you're 7 hours ahead. Okay, let's figure this out. Because when you say in the evening, I'm actually just waking up or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some weird space-time paradox that is no longer here. So.
Yeah,
And-
exactly. Now I'm actually an hour behind you.
Yeah, that's crazy. So now, I guess you got married back home, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that was almost actually that was just over a month ago now.
That's crazy. How's that? How's married life?
It's good. I mean, these past 2 weeks have kind of been my first taste of that because my wife she lives here, and that's where I'm living now. And so, like directly after our short honeymoon over there, she flew back here, and so we've sort of been separate for the first 3 weeks of marriage or so. And so these first 2 weeks have actually been our time to sort of actually,
Hang out.
see what it's
Yeah.
like to be married.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah, and so far it's good. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, no,
I can see
that's
why you did it.
yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's there's part companionship, part convenience, part just like having these intertwining lives together. It's really cool. And I mean, did I tell you I'm having a child?
Yes, you did tell me
Yeah,
that.
So that's gonna be weird because who knows
Yeah.
who knows how to do that. But so yeah, congratulations on your marriage, congratulations on your job and moving over here. Is it all a little bit overwhelming, or is it sort of you taking it in stride? I mean,
I've kind of taken it bit by bit
Yeah.
because, as I said, I've been here for a couple of weeks now, but tomorrow is the first day of the big new job, so that's obviously a bit nerve-wracking.
yeah. Do you have to do like some
but-
sort of orientation, or are you just like here,
Yeah,
go code things?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because so I'm going to be working for Facebook, and they have a boot camp which lasts for 6 weeks.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm hoping that, or I'm anticipating that it's going to be hard work, but they're going to kind of teach me everything I need to know. So that'll be good.
Awesome.
So I imagine for the first 6 weeks or so, it's going to be like the first, I don't know, like 2 months or so of my computer science course, where it's like, oh, it's all this stuff coming in, and I can't keep up with it, but it's all for the good, and I'm getting paid to learn, which is
the
best.
Awesome. That's the best way to learn. So
yeah, absolutely.
While you were moving, I'd been crafting up this thing called Halloween Horror. So that's been happening, and I always have the best intentions with, okay, I'm gonna prepare a lot. It's September. I'm gonna get all my assets ready. I'm gonna get everything prepped. I'm gonna get the schedule going. Come September 30th, I have nothing ready. I have nobody assigned to anything. I scramble for people, but luckily, the people in my network, I'm so thankful for all the awesome help and contributors and stuff. But it's sort of coming together. I was able to bang out an awesome trailer for the series, which, if you haven't watched, go check that out. That's on the website and on YouTube. But I'm going with this like grindhouse theme to give it a little bit of edge. And the first couple videos I've been very pleased with. The first one, I don't know if you've ever heard of, but Harvester, which was an old...
I believe we've talked about that on this show.
Okay, yeah. Probably back when I did the trailer for it, the Steam trailer. So,
was it Steam or was it Good Old Games?
It might have been both, to be honest with you.
Okay,
I can't remember.
Makes sense. I mean, how many people are going to want a trailer for Harvester?
But, the one company I work for, they are freelance for, they do both. They do sometimes Good Old Games, sometimes Steam, but sometimes it's already on Good Old Games, but not on Steam yet. So, so Harvester is an interesting one, but I was glad to start the series out with that. We've had a couple guests so far. My friend Nick, who did it's a free game called Vanish, which is it's a procedurally generated one, and the other one, Darkwood, which is a really cool early access game. It's got this another procedurally generated horror, or no, not procedure. It's not procedure. It's a roguelike. So every time you die, it switches things up, which is cool. So really some very different titles. I've looked down the list. There's some awesome stuff coming up. But namely, of course, things like The Evil Within is going to be in it, because that's coming out on the 13th or 14th. So that'll be a big headliner for this series. But really happy to be doing it again.
Nice. Yeah, it's always good to do this Halloween horror things. And if you need an extra day, I did review Luigi's Mansion this year. Oh God,
thank you. Nice, awesome. Which one was that? The original? Or
the original? I haven't played the 3DS one.
Yeah, I still want to play that. But my next thing we should go on. You said Assassin's Creed 4. You've been plugging away on that. You've been playing on the PS4, right?
I was, I kind of put a bow on that just now, because I finished the story, and then I finished basically all of the open world stuff that you could possibly do, including getting all the chests and all the Animus fragments and hacking all the computers in Abstergo and that kind of thing. And the last thing I had to do was there were 22 like hidden buried treasures. I only had 21. And I thought, that's weird, like, because I've scoured the entire map. I found all of the like dead pirates with their maps. So where could it possibly be? And I looked it up, and I realized that some of the treasure maps, like 2 of them, come from doing the Kenway's Fleet minigame. And I've been doing a ton of that, but I had been playing it in such a way as to grind for money rather than to progress through it and unlock new locations in it and to get new stuff. Because like every time a ship comes in, there's this whole big report about like what it did and the unique item it brought back and that kind of thing. And for the entire game, I just skipped it. I didn't read any of that stuff. And it was only now that I realized, like, it came back with like a Baroque guitar and like the death mask of this Aztec priest and that kind of thing. And so I realized that, and so basically my last probably about 5 hours or so was basically playing the Kenway's Fleet minigame obsessively, trying to push through and find that last treasure map, which I eventually did do. which included quite a lot of me sailing around, blowing up ships, because which is awesome. Like that's one of the best parts of the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing that kept me playing for almost 50 hours. But yeah, because some of the later fleet missions require you to carry massive cargo, and you need like the very biggest ships,
ship
which
to
are quite
hold it
rare.
all. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, so that game is so good. Like,
Yeah.
there is a reason I sunk so much time into it, and in some ways I kind of wish there was more to do. I mean, at some point I might go back and play the DLC. Sunflower did recommend that to me.
Yeah.
But for now, I've sort of moved on to other things.
I'm stuck on Revelations right now. I would like to play. I would like to play through them all, even though they're all sort of very similar. But I'm just like that. So I'm really looking. It'll be the thing where I'm like, I'll play through Revelations and Assassin's Creed 3. I won't get everything. I'll just kind of critical path it, and then Assassin's Creed 4. I want to just go through it all.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that, and I had this weird rhythm for a couple of years where I would always play Assassin's Creed around about the time that the next game was coming out. So I would play them sort of a year or 2 years out of date. In fact, a year out of date.
Okay.
And then I kind of fell behind with that, and I just decided that because I played 1, 2, and Brotherhood, and from what I heard, I decided that Revelations and 3 weren't really worth going for, so I just didn't bother with it. And plus, I mean, one of the reasons I got 4 was because I wanted something for my PS4.
Yeah, and what a game to play on your PS4.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good first game.
Awesome. There is one pirate game coming out that Sonny told me about, and it's not out yet, but it's coming out this month, and I was like, yes, we need this. We need more pirate games because they're underrepresented.
Pirate games it's always good to have them. And it is a weirdly underexploited genre considering how, like, the whole internet's obsession with pirates.
Yeah. That being said, I want to talk about the open world game I've been playing, but I talked about Destiny quite a bit last week and how people were complaining about sort of how the game is structured, and I sort of countered with how there's a certain way to play this game, which is unfortunate. It shows a design flaw, but I mean, really, when Bungie says the real game starts at level 20, that holds true to an extent because, but that doesn't mean that the levels 1 to 20 are bad. Like, it's fun. It's still a fun game. Like, enjoy it. You essentially go through the story, and at the end of the story, you kind of hit 18 to 20-ish. But I wanted to get your thoughts because you've been playing Destiny so far. So yeah, tell me about your experience so far. So
I'm playing it in a somewhat unusual fashion in that I'm playing the whole thing co-op with Marina. And not only that, we're playing co-op in the same room on 2 different televisions with 2 different PS4s.
Right.
Which is in itself is kind of a weird. It is an interesting technical challenge because it's like you have one person playing on the big TV and then you have the small TV, and so you have to make sure that the audio isn't interrupting from one or the other and that kind of thing. So that's been interesting to do. But so far we've been really enjoying it. We're both at about level 8 or 9 so far, and yesterday we played through the strike on Earth, the one we have to take down the big
Devil's Lair.
Yeah, it's like Sepkis Prime, that kind of thing, which is a massive mission. And we had one other dude in there with us, who was arrived from matchmaking. But so far, we're both really enjoying it. The weapons are really satisfying to use, and it's just a very, very easy thing to get into. And all of the sort of MMO trappings are kind of like, even though games have done them before, they kind of feel fresh and interesting just because the world is a really interesting thing. And I've kind of been sort of doing the deep dive. I've got the Destiny app on my phone, and so I've been looking at all the Grimoire cards and reading about who the Hive are and who the Fallen are, and
I like that. I like that stuff.
I like it too.
The one thing and this is very selfish of me, but take those Grimoire cards that you've designed and like people have put time and effort into making them that they have online. Put that in the game, set some dude up in a corner with a table, and you have some card minigame. That's all I want is a card minigame. and you can give all the different card stats.
That's interesting.
I will design it for you, Bungie. I'm sure you have someone who plays Magic the Gathering that could figure it out. So that's all I want, really. Because then you get the story and you get to play this mini game. So
yeah, it is weird that that stuff isn't in the game at all. Like it's not touched upon, and I think that is sort of the one downside of the game. As I said, I'm playing it co-op, so it tends to be when you play a game co-op, the story kind of falls into the background because people are chatting, or maybe someone has already seen the story, or especially in games like this, which are quite quest driven, where it's like one person wants to sit around and listen to the story, and another person just wants to rush off to the objective and get it done. But Destiny, it does actually kind of seem like that, because apart from a couple of instances where there are cutscenes, it's like to me it's still, even though we've played the game for about 3 hours or so, it's still shocking to me when my character speaks, because I don't think of him as a speaking character, because he's so rarely involved in because he's so rarely involved in the story, and like most of the story stuff is just after you select the mission, Peter Dinklage talks to you for a bit and explains why you're about to do the thing you're about to do. So it does very much seem like it's kind of the system is there for multiplayer, and they've kind of built this nice world about it, but the two haven't quite met in the middle in terms of producing a compelling narrative. And I still get that thing that you get with I don't know, like Diablo or Titan Quest, where it's like, why are we doing this again? Who cares?
It doesn't matter. I want the next shiny thing. Yeah,
exactly. So it seems to me like they've done a lot of good groundwork, and the systems work really well. Like it's really cool to just see people wandering around, and that like the incidental stuff. Like we were playing a strike, and there was another like level 25 dude just wandering around the area, which I didn't even think was possible. But yeah, so like all of that is really good, and the world is really good. It just feels like maybe now they need to take a bit of time and like produce a more compelling story for the next game for people to play through.
Yeah.
Because at the moment it is very much the case of no one is like you are the Guardian.
Yep.
But everyone is the Guardian.
Everyone's the one. So. And
so there's no particular story. It's just a series of things you have to do, which the gameplay is more than good enough to hold up for. So it's definitely a minor complaint for me.
Yeah, it's really, Bungie knows how to design a shooting game, and the shooting is very satisfying. I've been doing, there's an event right now. I made it to level 22, and as I explained last week, level 20 is the character sort of cap, but then your equipment levels up, and then your equipment levels you from sort of 20 to 30. Anyways, there's an event going on called the Queen's Wrath, which she's a story character. You'll see her later on, but you're doing these bounties specific to her, trying to get certain equipment and certain items and shaders and all this stuff. And it's a limited time event, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I've been doing that, and they have these kill orders where it puts, once you do one of her bounties, you get a kill order, and it's a mission, a story mission, but it's put on the hardest difficulty, and you go complete that, and you get a chance to get her loot. So I got her lovely waistcoat, as well as what was the other thing I got? Oh, a helmet. So I have the Queen's helmet, and which isn't a tiara or a crown or anything. It's just looks like a regular warlock helmet. But I got a coat, which was pretty exciting. So I'm
playing a warlock too, by the way.
Sorry? Oh, you're a warlock as well?
I'm a warlock as well, yeah.
Nice, yeah. I'm enjoying it. I think it's not without its flaws, but again, I went into this, I keep saying this, but I went into Destiny knowing that it wasn't going to change the world. It wasn't going to change history, because Bungie games, they have a long tail, they're supported well, they even get better with time sometimes, because the one thing I'm curious about, and the business is how the business is, but the 2 DLC packs, I hope they didn't just poach those, but I have a feeling they did, because the files are already on. There was a bug, did you see that, where the files are already on the disc? So whatever.
I didn't see that.
That's just how it is. But yeah, I'm also enjoying Destiny. I think I'm gonna try and get a character caught up to you guys so I can pop in once in a while when I see you.
That would be cool because we always have a third slot.
I know. So I saw last night you're kind of around level 8, 9, maybe.
Yeah. I
So
think we're on 9 at the moment. Yeah, and we are a hunter and a warlock.
wonderful. My Titan will fit in perfectly. So
Brilliant. Yeah, and actually that's going to be quite cool because, or has been quite cool. The class system through when you play that first mission where you're just on your own
Yeah.
and you pick up a weapon.
yeah,
It seems like those weapons were sort of suggestions for what you could use because I picked up a shotgun and Marina picked up, I think it was a sniper rifle.
yeah,
Which kind of goes with the whole, hunter mage thing,
yeah.
warlock thing. But then you can still choose whatever you want, and it's not like you have, like racial bonuses or anything towards a
Right.
particular weapon type. It's more if you use that weapon, if it's a good weapon, then it'll actually at some point unlock a new thing for you to do.
Yep.
So it kind of rewards you experimenting, and so I've kind of been building a bit of an arsenal of like, this is my best shotgun. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to now try using sniper rifles for a bit and see how they go and that kind of thing, which is really cool.
Yeah, I like that you basically have to choose your weapon depending on the situation. Like, I like that all the classes can use all the weapons, and you'll find once you start doing the higher level stuff that your class comes into play way more because of the elemental damage that is associated with your class. Each class
I see.
has obviously each class has 2 subclasses to it. So
Yeah.
the warlock, you start out as a void walker or like a
Yes.
void mage. Level 15 hits, you get to do you're a sun walker, and so then you have access to fire damage. I think it's either solar damage.
Solar
what is
damage,
it? Solar, arc, and void. So anyways, the warlock has access to solar and void, but not arc. So you want to have a weapon that can shoot arc
gives you that bonus as well.
because there's enemies later on that have the shield associated with the element, and you can't damage them without that type of weapon. So you're kind of filling in the gaps, and that's where the classes start to complement each other because the hunter can have solar and arc, and then the Titan, it doesn't have access to void. It has I forget. I haven't played my Titan
makes
yet.
sense,
But
though.
anyways, there's that sort of rock paper scissors thing going on, and they complement each other. And that doesn't even come into play until you're doing those heroics, which is crazy. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. When a company says that the real game doesn't start until level 20, I mean, take that with a grain of salt, because I enjoyed it all the way up until then, even though the story was kind of just out there. And then, but I look forward to continue playing through this. I mean, it is at one point it does become sort of that chat room where you're just hopping in with friends and going around and doing stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what Diablo becomes, that's what Torchlight becomes, that's what all those loot grind games become. So
Cool.
the other thing that's been taking a lot of my time and sleep is Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, so I've heard some very good things about that. I feel like it's going to be the next game I pick up.
Yeah, I would definitely pick it up because, man, it's I gotta grab my notes. Sorry. It's gonna be my next alchemy breakdown, because within the first 10 minutes of playing, it did so many things well.
Oh yeah.
And it just took little things from a bunch of different stuff, and I won't spoil everything, but again, open world, it's got a very Assassin's Creed feel to it, especially with the not only the aesthetic, it's the Lord of the Rings aesthetic, but you're scrambling up walls, sort of hunched on high towers. Even when you jump off a tower, you are falling and doing that.
Oh really?
You are.
Wow.
Except the thing with this, because your character is not haunted, but your character is associated with this wraith. So you have like a wraith friend. You don't take fall damage from that, so it's awesome. You don't need a bush. You just fall to the ground and you just land. So anyways, no, it's Assassin's Creed with Batman combat, which is great. And then sprinkled in is the core thing that they are doing differently, and this is totally new to this, is the Nemesis system, and that's what everyone's talking about, and it's really it's an interesting system because it's never been done before, but I'll try and explain it as best I can. I'll paint you a little word picture here. Orc captains, there's a big set of orc captains, say, let's say 16 of them, that all have unique names. They're all unique characters. And you can go and kill these orc captains, and they will have different strengths and weaknesses. And if you don't know what those strengths and weaknesses are, you're going to have a hard time fighting them. But what you can do is find what they're called worms, or they're orcs that have a little bit extra brain, and they give you intel if you sort of sap their memory by sneaking up on them, grabbing them, and sucking out their memory.
Wait a minute, is this making good of that thing from the first Assassin's Creed?
It is making good on that, because it actually gives you useful information. They will tell you their strengths, if they are afraid of stuff, what their weaknesses are, so how you can actually kill them. So for example, you find this captain who is an archer. He is immune to ranged, but he is weak to stealth. So you can go, and if you sneak up on him or do like jump off a ledge and stealth kill him, he immediately dies. Whereas if you shoot your bow at him, arrows bounce off. So that's sort of the strengths and weaknesses. And there's a huge list that gets bigger and bigger if they run away when you're fighting them. It's a really cool dynamic system. If they run away, if they'll start to fight other orc captains, and if one orc captain fights the other and kills him, he gains levels and gains strengths. If they kill you because you're undead, you'll keep coming back and back and back and back. They'll remember how they killed you, they'll remember your face, and they're like, oh, I'm coming back for more, and they just keep on leveling up. So what's really neat in this Nemesis system, and I think a big thing people are not talking about, is that death is really important in this game, because when you die, all these cogs turn around the map. There'll be a feast up in the top here, and they're all on timers. So if you fail to go like spoil the feast, that orc captain will get promoted. And there's a duel over here, and if you try and interfere but you die, that duel will happen, but he'll gain power because he killed you and he killed another orc warlord. But then say you did have time to go like infiltrate this one execution, and you kill the guy that was doing the executing, you can like tell this orc captain that you saved to do some other stuff. So it's just insane. Like, this Nemesis system needs to be ripped off and put in, just jammed until we're sick of it, because it's really cool and really unique, and I like it. I like how they handle death in this game.
That sounds cool. Yeah, I like the fact that they're using. I guess it's like the power of the new systems.
It is because
it's basically saying we can run these advanced simulations of stuff happening not around you.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some times where you'll go and I'll kill like 7, 8, 9, 10 captains, and on the screen, I guess I'll try and bring up the screen on the stream, but on the screen, it's like not chess pieces, but little figurines of the captains.
That's cool. I like figurines.
Yeah, and it's a breakdown of their strengths and weaknesses. It's like an Intel screen, but really, it's just cool to see this work so well. It could have gone either way, to be honest with you, but I'm really digging it. I think it's a decent, like, pretty, not average, like, it controls really well. Like, it's above average open world game, but when you pile this Nemesis system on, it's just, the world comes to life, and there's so many things happening. And what's nice about that, because open world games, a lot of the best content is in the side missions. So this, you just kind of like, whatever's around you, go do it, because everything's fun to do in this.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be playing it. I can't recommend it enough. But the Nemesis system is just so neat, and they have funny names like Porog the Butcher, and he'll have his apron on, or like,
that's cool.
Who did I? Here's the other, and this stuff just keeps coming to me. People on your friends list, if they get killed by a certain orc, it'll pop up in your game as an assassination contract and be like, go avenge your friend's death. And it'll
Oh,
say
that's
like
really cool.
Sunflower 4000 was killed by Ragos the Fierce, and he'll pop up as a side mission. And
Nice.
if you go kill him, you gain power, but then it'll also send a message back saying you were avenged by Locke, which was so cool. I just was like, yes, I love that thing.
That's a really smart implementation of that kind of thing.
And
I like that.
Yeah, it was really cool. They also, that happens in the console versions of Diablo 3. So
Nice.
yeah, I mean, I would get on this sooner than later, because I think obviously you're going with Destiny right now. Mm-hmm. But I think Destiny is going to be an ongoing thing, whereas Shadows of Mordor, you can just like have that as your awesome single player game right now. So
yeah, that's kind of because, as I said, Destiny is kind of the co-op game.
Yeah.
So something on my own, I think Shadows of Mordor is going to be good, and it works really well because both Marina and I are both massive Lord of the Rings fans. So that's definitely going to be a big thing to have a Lord of the Rings game that's actually worth playing.
And what's nice about this is people are like, do you like Lord of the Rings? Do you not? It's like, doesn't matter. If you like it, it's going to be enhanced because there's lots of cool nods and things, and just like the world is really well discovered. And then if you don't like Lord of the Rings, it doesn't matter because it's like decent fantasy. So, yeah, it's great. I think they're doing some really cool stuff. Skill trees are really cool. You can sort of outfit it's split between like wraith abilities and sort of human fighting abilities, and you just go down the tree like that. Lots of side quests, lots of stuff to collect. You collect like different herbs and spices and pipe weed off the ground. There's hunting missions like in Red Dead Redemption. So yeah, I think I have to hunt a troll, which is crazy, and they're huge and scary. But
yeah, they are.
Middle Earth, good game. I reviewed the new Gauntlet. I won't talk about it too much. It's really weird because the guys who made Magicka did it, and one of the characters plays like a Magicka character. The wizard plays like a Magicka.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, like you're punching in like advanced keyboard combinations.
Yeah,
to make stuff.
you have access to 3 schools of magic: fire, ice, and lightning. And when you just hit 2 buttons. It's like fire, lightning gives you like this firebolt, and then if you go fire, it gives you like a giant arcing bomb. Or if you go like ice, lightning, you get like chain lightning. So
Okay.
it's good. I mean, it's $20, and I would recommend it getting a 4-pack with some friends over a weekend and playing through it, because there's not a ton of content there, but I mean, they sort of took the old school and sprinkled on some modernized action RPG things with it. Like each character plays differently, and that's weird.
Do you know if it's going to be coming to consoles?
It is. It has to, because this would play really well.
So.
This would play really well on just playing it locally, because
Yeah.
We're still in that transition period of people sort of moving up a PC beside a television. But I mean, this would do great as a downloadable title on Xbox or PlayStation or even Wii, if that's a thing. Cool. And then I just wanted to get hype about Civilization some more, because they put out an extended trailer going over the game systems, and I was like,
for Beyond Earth.
Beyond Earth, yeah. They're talking about like it's a 10-minute trailer, and my mother is calling me right now, so I will tell her to go away. Sorry, Mom, this is more important.
She has some things to say about Civilization Beyond Earth.
But there's like 3 different schools of thought. There's like Harmony, which is it assimilates when you like? No, it's not assimilate. Anyways, Harmony like blends together with the natural flora and fauna and animals on the planets. There's one that's like totally taking over and like using machines to do everything, and then there's one that's sort of keeping the human race pure. Yeah, like it's like cybernetics, plants and fungus, and then the other one's like just keeping to human norms. But I got hyped for that. There again, the hex-based system is from Civ 5 is amazing. I guess Civilization Revolution, but I think Civ 5 perfected it. This is a day one buy for me, just because it's like the best things about Alpha Centauri and the best things about Civilization 5 mashed into a beautiful 4X game. So
That's cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. One thing actually. This is slightly off topic. But one thing I did see this week is Stardock sent me an email. God, I cannot for the life of me remember what the game is called.
It's like Sorcerer King.
Something like that.
Okay, let's talk about this because.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say. Tell me what you're gonna say.
Oh, it describes itself as an asymmetric 4X game, which I don't know what that means, but I mean, I like some of the stuff that Stardock has done in the past.
Remember, I was trying to remember and I couldn't, and I didn't want to look it up. What was the game called before Fallen Enchantress? Before they changed the name?
War of Magic.
Elemental War of Magic.
Yeah.
And that was a big catastrophe. Fallen Enchantress is really good.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of it.
Yeah, I haven't played enough either, but I mean, this looks just like Fallen Enchantress.
Yeah.
I need to know what's different. Like, what does asymmetric mean?
Sorcerer King.
Yeah, like dig into it. Yeah, Sorcerer. Because it's
a new kind of 4X unique asymmetrical design. I don't know. We've had asymmetrical 4X before, like with different races and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does look an awful lot like it. I think the thing that stopped me from playing more of the elemental games was just the art style turned me off after a while.
Right, the sort of pseudo cell shaded thing.
Yeah, it just didn't get like if I want a fantasy game, I want like a rich fantasy game, and that kind of just looked like it was all just a bit too painterly.
Yeah, you're playing like Heroes of Might and Magic, Disciples, King's Bounty, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic about this. Like I want to know more about it, but this, to me, at first glance, and this is being superficial, this looks like Fallen Enchantress to me. So
yeah,
tell me what's different about it. And
I mean, if all it is Fallen Enchantress, but different races actually have different, like, play differently,
right,
that would be kind of cool.
That'd be okay. Yeah,
like that's not unique. Like, God, what was it? Not Sword of the Stars.
Galactic Civilizations.
Galactic Civilizations did that. Actually, no, sorry. Sword of the Stars did it as well, where like different races traverse between the planets in entirely different ways.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I mean, it might be cool, but yeah, have to see.
We'll see. Yeah, Sorcerer King out of nowhere, but I mean,
yeah, Sorcerer King out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Even the spell book looked exactly like out of Fallen Enchantress. Come on, guys, help me here.
Just go back to playing Master of Magic.
Yeah, seriously. Did you try the new Age of Wonders? I'm super curious about that.
I did know.
Age of Wonders 3, I think so. Other than that, yeah, really my time has been split between Shadow of Mordor and Destiny right now. So what about you? Anything else for you?
Not a huge amount more. I played a little bit of Dust and Elysian Tale.
Beautiful game, yep.
Mostly I installed it because it's one of those games that falls in. I have it on the PC. It's one of those weird games where it kind of falls into a gap of services that I consciously know I have stuff on.
Yes.
So I think I have it in either Indie Royale or Humble Bundle or something like that. It's one of those things where
somewhere in the ether.
It's like, exactly. It's like I am allowed to go to a web page and download it from somewhere, and it just runs. It doesn't connect to anything else.
Yeah.
Which in some ways is quite nice, but in other ways it means that I forget that I have them, so I installed it. I haven't done a lot of PC gaming recently since the move, just because I've been setting up this thing. Before I moved, I went through all of my stuff, like my monitors, my computer, and checked to see what power supplies would run at 100 volts, because in the UK we use 220 volts, and here they do not. Luckily, my computer, my monitor, all that stuff is smart enough to take different voltages, and it just runs perfectly well. The only weird thing was my speakers, unsurprisingly, because it's their speakers, like they don't work very well.
Yeah.
But luckily, the little adapter thing, one of the things that makes it fit into a socket, that seems to work perfectly well. The only weird thing is that I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but if I turn them off, you get like a weird, like electrical fart from the subwoofer. It goes like this. It goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that. Don't know what that is. It's never done that before. But yeah.
Do you have adapters on everything right now?
Not everything. I mean, I can hold up to the. Right, there we go.
There you go. That is
there's
a piece of plastic, sir.
Yep, it's a piece of plastic, and yeah, so we've got going from the UK 3 pins to the US 2 pins or 2.5 pins.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that US does actually have 3 pins on stuff, which
Yeah.
which is nice because you need stuff to be earthed or you'll get electric shocks.
You want a ground, yeah, especially when you're dealing with electronics. So
yeah, but so one of the things that we were doing last week was sort of tidying up a few of the electronics in the living room here, and like all of those like big 3-pin cables. I was just like, I need that. I need that for my computer now. Yeah, exactly. And it's nice. Like my PS4 works as well. Just needed another cable, so I actually bought the power battery pack charger thing for a Vita because that just happened to have that kind of cable in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Windows 10 came out. Or
Windows 10 was
announced. It didn't come out.
Yeah, it was announced. Yeah, which is kind of weird. But having read a little bit about why they did that, from a programmer's perspective, I can completely understand why they called it that.
Yeah.
Because what I've been reading is that there's probably quite a lot of like quite old software that has a lot of stuff which goes if version equals Windows or begins with Windows 9 then do this thing, referring of course to Windows 95 and 98.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see why this is, but on the other hand, it seems like a bit of a weird, desperate leap for Microsoft to like distance themselves from Windows 8.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because I think Windows 8 is fine.
Oh yeah, I've actually never used it.
It's perfectly fine. I mean, in terms of like, I don't use the Metro style start menu, but I mean, in terms of being an update, it's the best sort of version of desktop Windows. Like. It's got wicked network capabilities. It's got awesome file transfer stuff because that's important to me as a power user. Yeah. So
that's cool.
But I mean, yeah, Windows 10 again. It's good that
it sounds like it's striking a good balance where it's keeping some of the Metro stuff, but it's giving you the start menu, like that whole deal, and everyone will be happy and it'll be nice.
Totally. And I think Metro looks good on mobile stuff. Like I think it looks great.
Yeah. Actually, that I think is the most important thing, is that they've now made it so that Windows 10 is just adaptive.
Yeah.
So that if it detects it's running on a touch screen, then it'll let you do Metro.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's an interesting. Sorry? That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was going to say it's interesting to come at that from a coding perspective or a programmer's perspective because everyone, 90% of the population who's just like, well, Windows 9, you just skipping to make it better. It's like, no, like things could catastrophically break down if there's like a missing 9 somewhere. So there's an extra thing. So
yeah, it's like that stuff shouldn't exist, but the Windows 9X like kernel is still like it is still a thing that people have to support in certain applications, especially like very important stuff.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Like, exactly, yeah. It's the way programs are written, and if you're running a deadline, it's and you want to save yourself a couple of lines of code of specifically avoiding checking for Windows 98 and Windows 95, then it's what happens. But yeah, I mean, like Mac have been, Apple have been like on OS 10 for
forever.
God knows how long now. Exactly.
OS 10 Snow Leopard Mountain Lion version. Have you played around with a Microsoft Surface at all?
You mean some of the new ones? No, I haven't.
I'm curious to see what that's like.
I've used an old Surface because there was one in our hotel room in Seattle, in our hotel lobby in Seattle.
Weird.
Yeah, I played chess on it.
No, sorry, not the like board game thing. I mean like
I know.
Their tablet.
I know.
Is that the same tech?
No. Oh. That's like I said I've played the old Surface.
Right,
I haven't used one of the new ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see because I just bought an iPad Air, and it's good. It's fine. It does its thing, and I don't like being ingrained in the Apple ecosystem because it's not it's the walled garden. So I don't know. We'll see. Next phone, I might make the leap. Who knows?
Yeah.
What phone are you using right now?
I'm still using my Nexus 4.
Nice.
So I think maybe because the Nexus 5 is really nice. Like I've gotten to play around with it a little bit and I really like it. But like my 4 still works perfectly well. So I feel like maybe the next time, like whenever there won't be a Nexus 6.
Yeah.
Because that would be ridiculous. And then they start to run into problems of there already was a Nexus 7, so I'll probably call it the Nexus 5 2 or something like that.
It's just Nexus 10.
Yeah. It also already exists.
Oh, is it a tablet?
Yeah. Yeah, there's already a Nexus 10.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Once they do the next iteration of that, I might think about picking it up.
Nice. Well, that's all I got for video games. We can talk some other stuff. I bought a quad drone to take films with. Which is pretty...
So what have you done with it so far?
It's in the mail. So.
I see. What do you plan to do with it?
It's really good at doing like flyover shots and just big wide angle. It's the best thing I could sort of explain it with is if, say, there's a soccer match happening, you sort of fly up and fly over, and you point the camera straight down, and it looks really cool when the players are sort of running, and then they're like, and it can get really, you can get hundreds of feet in the air. So I'm just really honestly, I'm really looking forward to just kind of experimenting with it, and again, just finding different ways to use it, and again, it's a piece for work, and I can get hired to do aerial footage or aerial photos. Like it's got a lot of commercial opportunities with, like, instead of renting, nobody rents a helicopter anymore unless you need like a specific camera on there. But if you just need a couple photos for like a survey, like an oil company doing a survey, you can just hop over and go boom, boom, boom. But
yeah, quadcopters are interesting because they're kind of this thing that always seems like whenever you see it as someone who doesn't own one, you think, oh, that's a weird thing. But they've existed for a really long time now, and they've gotten pretty good. Like I saw that footage that someone had of them flying through a fireworks display.
Yes,
which is really cool.
And and the one I'm getting is like the second version of the I don't know if it's prosumer, I guess. It's like that mid-range because the jump, like it was around $1,000, and then the jump to the next one for the Pro gear is like add a 0 onto that. So I mean, we'll see how this goes, and who knows, like I might just want to buy the next one up. That's how it's not a hobby anymore, so I can justify buying these things, which is part of my business. So we'll see how this is a nice entry level into it. But I mean, from the footage I've watched from their demos, like it's stunning. You throw a GoPro on it, and with the new GoPro coming out, and it can do GoPro 4 can do 4K now. So
nice, it's
gonna be beautiful.
That was another thing. Like my father-in-law has a GoPro, like and just it's amazing how good the video footage from one of those tiny things is.
Totally. So and then other than that, just doing a little bit of coding classes and music lessons.
What were you learning in your coding classes?
I'm doing some Udemy tutorials on one of my friends is a teacher there, a teacher. He has courses put on there, and he's like, hey, test these out. So I'm doing like HTML, CSS, PHP, and this other one, which I don't know what it is. Maybe you can tell me. What's Bootstrap?
Do you
remember?
Not off the top of my head. I've heard of Bootstrap.
I think it's some sort of. I think it's a sleek front end framework, which I'm actually super interested in.
Yeah, like I think it's like a CSS generator or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Which is that's what I prefer when stuff. Like I don't care for back end stuff, but I like. Yeah. I do enjoy the making the front thing look pretty and that sort of stuff. So I'm sort of trying to learn that as I go, because I want to tidy up the website and move away from WordPress and not necessarily go full custom, but I mean get it to be able to manipulate what I want instead of sort of just telling a template to do certain things. But and then my music class is did you see? Can you see this?
I can see what looks like a mixing board.
It's not a mixing board, but it is an Ableton.
It looks like It looks like a mixing board crashed into like a Speak and Spell.
Yeah, it is. It is a very giant. Each of these individual buttons are programmable pads, and this is how I play music now. So I'm learning.
Oh wow!
I'm learning I know how to use this hardware. But I'm learning how to use the accompanying software with this to make music. So
Cool.
yeah, that's what I've been doing when I'm not working and playing video games and stuff. Other than that, man, what's going on in your life?
Just settling in, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, just getting used to the fact that it's amazingly hot here in October, which is ridiculous.
You said it's like 30 degrees out. That's insane.
Yeah, which for Americans it's like over 80. I don't know what it is.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's very hot.
It's very hot.
Especially if you're not used to it.
And
so yeah.
Yeah, when you're a big sweaty dude like me, it's just like, oh god, this is unbearable. But
yeah, okay. I mean, at the moment I'm in this room and I've got the computer running, so I'm pretty.
It's like
I don't know if you can see this on the live stream, but yeah, I'm sweating a little bit.
Okay, you look better wet. So, yeah, I'm stoked, man. I think. The last thing I wanted to talk about. I know this is hopping around a ton, but the Steam update. What do you think of that?
Oh, actually, I haven't looked at that yet.
It's
the only thing I really noticed about it is that the icon is different.
That was the first thing I noticed too.
Literally the only thing. Let me open it right now.
But really, that was actually an update previous to this update because they updated the interface, but then they did this whole.
Oh, there's a 55 meg update, so I'm not going to do that while someone online. Yeah,
they've drastically changed the front page where you have. It's more user customizable, where you can tell it what you want it to show, which is really nice because it curates things for you, and you can sign up for recommendations from certain I signed up for ones from PC Gamer, Giant Bomb, Co-Optimus, Gaming Alchemy, and then you can see what they recommend, which is cool. It takes you through they have this thing called a discovery queue, which I don't know what algorithm they use, but they take a bunch of games that they think you might like, and you say, I'm interested in this, I'm not interested in this. Put it on my wish list. So
yeah, that's kind of like the thing that I kind of wish the Google Play Store did a bit better, because it'll come up with it'll say like, hey, what do you rate this game that you've played? And then it tries to do recommendations for that, but I don't think the links they have between the games are quite strong enough for that to work. So if I can just say, yeah, I like this game, I don't like this game, and then for it to suggest things to me would be really cool.
Oh, cool. So I like it because I do like, I call it the metagame of Steam. Like I play around and I like, because my Steam library is ridiculous, and I have this, it's not OCD, but I like having it organized, and when they provide me with more tools to curate and allow me to dictate what shows up and what people see from my tastes and that sort of thing, I enjoy it, which is crazy because I find myself doing more of that than playing actual video games, and then I'm just part of I've just become a cog in the system. So
yeah.
But right now my top recommendations are like Far Cry 3, which I thoroughly enjoy, but I have to tell it that I don't want to play Far Cry 3 because I've already played it on Xbox. So Luftrausers is up in there, same case. I played that on the Vita. So you kind of have to go in and tinker around a bit. You can tell it to do like, I want to see early access, or I don't want to see early access stuff, because some people don't like that. You can tell it to be like, tell me about updates about games only that are in my account, things like that. So it's cool. Poke around after you've updated it, and I'm curious to see what you think.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
But I think we could probably, unless you have anything else, we can probably wrap it, I think.
Yeah, let's wrap it up there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been the Sunday pseudo morning show. Myself and Jam come together for October the 5th. That's crazy that it's October already. But
yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
video games are happening.
They're happening. Go play Destiny, play Middle Earth. Both of those are awesome. Get ready for Civilization. I'm looking forward to spending more time with you, Jam, because the time difference thing, that's awesome, which will be great. Again, just say that you need a wife break, because that's what I do. Be like, this is me time. And then other than that, we'll get on some Halloween horror stuff. Go watch Halloween Horror. It's on the YouTube as well as on Gaming Alchemy there, and next week we'll do some raids together. So thank you again all for watching and listening, and on behalf of myself and Jam and everybody here at the studio, we'll catch you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.